Yeah. How am I looking?
Look at that fool. Hoodie gang. Hoodie gang. Alright, let's.
Alright, willingness, optimism, hopeful. Alright, so at this point, a little bit more higher vibration. If you have willingness to do anything, I mean, you're taking initiative, so action-taking potential. That's awesome. And let's see, if you're optimistic, then that means, you're not outcome dependent. You're just, doing it for the sake of doing it. Because you're like, well, if I'm enjoying the process, then eventually I will reap what I sow. I will get the squeeze from the juice of life and be able to sip upon the sweet nectar of my labor. And then, that makes you hopeful. Obviously you're willing to do something, you're optimistic, you're like, well, we'll see what happens. And so you're coming from a hopeful frame where you're able to, see that you can be better. And even though you're not there yet, you'll be there eventually. I'll take a good example of you're willing to improve yourself. Self-love is huge. And a lot of people don't care enough about themselves to actually almost treat themselves like a plant and water the plant, make sure it gets sunlight every day, because then the plants go wilt away. You close the blinds and you want to be a hermit and stay indoors and dwell and wallow, and then you forget to give your plant light and water. It's gone. Just, human, why did you keep me in a pot? And then it's going to become all decrepit, just like you'll become decrepit if you're not willing to give yourself self-love. You're going to become like, what's that joke called? Like a statue. You're going to look presentable on the outside, but then just be dull and bland.
They call statues bland.
Yeah. And so, taking upon willingness, being able to do things for yourself, like give yourself self-love daily. You're willing to take that action. You're willing to stick to it.
You have a higher energetic frequency.
Very high energetic frequency. You're resonating with high vibration. You're like, I want more for myself, as opposed to like, I'm okay where I'm at, or I don't like things. And then the optimism of obviously self-love takes time. You have endless amounts of social conditioning, and that's just anything externally that's imprinted upon you to a point where you've embodied it as the way you perceive your world that you function in. Endless amounts of social conditioning that have been, skewing your view of the world to not be optimistic. Like, oh, well, I'll only be happy when I get there, so I can't be, willing to try because I'm not deserving of it yet. No, you're optimistic. You're like, get rid of these weird vision goggles. I will not let the conditioning get to me. I will be optimistic. I will see through all of the muck that I've been conditioned to have to accept as reality, and I'll be hopeful that there's something better on the other side, and be willing to enjoy the process and love the process to get there, despite how long it takes. I'm willing to persevere and go through it. I feel like that was a good little example.
Now think about how we started down at like when we were down at apathy, right? Like we're just in this like, there's nothing, just whatever, I don't care, and like how apathy was like this state of hopelessness. Like there's just nothing. It doesn't matter. Who cares? What are we doing? We're just down in this lowest like Maslow's, like you don't even have food and water, or like in the tribe mentality, it's everyone hates me, I hate everyone. And now we've worked our way up to this win-win paradigm where we're not only willing, but we're hopeful now. Like everyone can probably win. Maybe, like, that's why it's hope. Like, maybe we could all win. Possibly everyone can be happy. We just reached this new state where we're not necessarily in scarcity anymore. After all this time of polarizing everyone and everything, we're now in this place of acceptance. And to finally be so hopeful to the external that things could work out, that things could be great, that you could be happy, is just such a far removed paradigm from this place of apathy, way lower than even hatred. this apathy that's all the way down here at the bottom of the energetic scale that makes you almost resist life, love, and existence itself. You were just completely in despair. And now we're in this place where we're not only hopeful, but like positive, optimistic. Like we're in this state of like belief where this is where like people start saying fuckery, like, yes we can, you can do it, go for it. And like, you know what I'm saying, I personally don't necessarily like those type of
let's gas them up, yeah, with empty, you know,
like
high
that type
vibration
of shit. But it works though for people that are down. When you start spiking them with that, it's like, we can, things could work out. And it's like,
I got a gold star. Yeah.
What's the word? Accolades. Like giving people these accolades. It's like they're starting to feel worthy. They're starting to feel deserving. And it's a completely different energetic paradigm. Like the goggles you're looking at the world through right now is a completely different thing. Like we went from like red to like yellow and purple, and like we're just seeing life, like instead of seeing the tree and being like, oh, fucking tree dropping leaves everywhere, we're like, oh, look at this tree giving me oxygen, I can breathe. Hell yeah. Like you just start seeing the world in a completely different perspective now, and you're just so much more positive, you're so much more hopeful. It's just interesting seeing those minor shifts as you work up the energetic like scale, and to imagine like how you're perceiving things so differently now, to even because I can really relate to remembering being at like the purest of apathy, just like maybe around 9th 10th grade, when I was just like, all right, fuck it, bro, like I'm not going for this anymore, I'm gonna do what I want, nobody's gonna tell me what to do, like I don't care. And then for years and years and years being in that paradigm of just fuck you, fuck y'all, I'm gonna do what I want, y'all can suck my dick. And then slowly working my way up. And now I can't even remember almost those type of thoughts half the time, because I'm always like, not only do I have permission for myself, but I tell people what to do now, and not even in a malicious or I'm in charge way, but like it's everything's so collaborative in my life, and everything's so expressive. To think that I came from this place of like fuck everyone to now I'm like, are you okay? Are you good? Do you need anything? It's such a different energetic reality that like I almost see things different. Like trees, I did not see trees. I'll tell you that right now. Until I started meditating, trees were just like this thing, like this like big thing that dropped leaves that were just like, people love nature. For about the past 5 or 6 years, I'm always like touching them. I love feeling the bark and shit in the wood. I like touching leaves and like plants. Like it's a whole different experience looking at a tree now than it was when I was like 14. I didn't even know what a tree was. It was just this ugly plant thing that was just dropping leaves and shit. And now it's like a friend, or like like this nostalgic love of mine. Like it's it just brings so much energy and like presence to life. It's almost insane how different. And that's just a tree, bro. We're talking about people, talking about places, experiences, but that energetic goggle and like how different your view is it's almost exponential. Like it's insane how opposite of the paradigm it is, like or how opposite of the pendulum it is. It's like, you know, like east, west, left, right, hot, cold. Like hopelessness and hope are just so fundamentally different. Like I mean, obviously they're opposites, but that's the point. Like it's opposites even in your worldview, even just in your vision and like how you perceive life. It's just so fundamentally polarizing. Like instead of just being so negative, so hostile, so down, it's like you're positive, you're collaborative, you're win-win, you're full of love, you're full of joy. It's just a completely different place when you start expanding into this level of vibrations.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, definitely the huge changeover in goggles. Huge.